Welcome to the Shamrock Sports Talk Show with your hosts, Igor Mitic from Serbia, Europe, and Andy Vernon from Concord, New Hampshire. We are about pride, tradition, sweat, tears, victory, and determination of Boston sports. Give us a ring at 512-543-4662. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now, let's get into the Shamrock Sports Talk Show. Hello, and thank you for tuning into the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC, where you can find the best in sports talk television and radio shows. Mondays, check out the Just Us Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your hosts, Kevin L. Dixon and Dana Clark. Then Tuesday, we have the Stars Talking Cowboys Sports Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern with your hosts, Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki. And on Wednesday, tune in for the Out the Block Sports Talk Show from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with hosts Robert Lewis, Donna Hainsworth, and Brett Shields. Then meet up with us on Saturday for the Enhanced Sports Talk Show from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern with hosts Lou Tenor and Steve Davidson. We also have the DMV Sports Talk Show from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern with your host Razul McGee. As well, we have the Shamrock Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern with Igor Mitic and Andy Vernon. Finally, rounding out the week, we have on Sunday, That's Not How We See It Sports Talk Show from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern with your host, Alfred Wallace, Tony Wallace, and Harold Robinson III. These shows come to you by way of the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Shamrock Sports Talk Show. This is season 1, episode number 35. As you can see, nothing is happening in particular, but Celtics 2023-24 schedule is out. Just let me stop the intro. I thought that it is stopped. Okay. Now it is stopped. So the welcome Andy Vernon again with me in the Shamrock's Sports Talk Show, as you heard, every Saturday 7 p.m. Eastern. Andy, welcome back to the show. This is Saturday, and like in my country is Sunday 20th, but we are counting Saturday 19th August 7 p.m. Eastern, live Roku TV and YouTube. Shamrock Sports Talk Show Season 1 Episode 35, Celtics 23-24 schedule is out. Andy, first of all, I want to ask you, because you was not there the last show, how did you see the move where the Celtics cut Justin Champagne and made the 2 open roster spots? It seems like we could see another signing or 2 prior to the beginning of the season. Just a reminder that I think the Celtics are starting season on 21st October, so we still have time to make a moves and roster cuts. The last cut is still not there, but it seems like the Celtics could sign somebody like Blake Griffin or something like that, right?
Yeah. There's still time for them to make a move. I think it's going to be a pretty minimal move. In terms of letting Champagne, I don't know how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Justin Champagne, I think, whatever.
Yeah, in terms of like whatever, like in terms of letting him go, it's kind of a non-factor. I mean, he had like a couple decent showings in summer league.
I think he went to Miami or Bucks. I must check.
Yeah, he went to. I'm pretty sure he went to Miami. And that's really a So I don't know what you call it in basketball, but I know in the NFL that's what you would call like a practice team signing. They're signing him because he's practiced and played with the Celtics, so they're signing him so that he could give insight to how the Celtics like to play and how they like to game plan. That's really, I think, all that is.
Or if we are rude, we would say that Miami is collecting the Celtics garbage, but and turning it to some playable pieces, whatever you want to call, but whatever. I didn't talk in the last show, but we must we must talk about it before schedule, because it is fun. James Harden, Daryl Morey saga is getting to the point where there is no return, So
you know what the only difference between James Harden and Kevin Durant is, outside the fact that Kevin Durant's a champion, is at least Kevin Durant can pick a winner when he goes to get carried.
I mean, somebody from another team said that James Harden is toxic for the organization and the team,
God, yes.
And he wouldn't want to sign James Harden for any money,
Yeah.
And James Harden is starting to say things like maybe it is time China to see me playing. Maybe it is time, James Harden, China, to see you playing, and NBA to be relieved from your presence.
Well, I think the problem for James Harden is he wants to join a winner, right? But he's not the same player that he was before. Like athletically, he just doesn't have quite the same burst that he used to have.
Nope.
And the NBA has changed. They're calling the game differently, so he's not getting all those fouls that he used to get to the free throw line.
Right.
So he's not as effective of a player as he used to be. And then you add on to this all these antics where you like at some point in time you have to say James Harden is the common denominator, because how many superstars has he played with in his career? He played with CP3. He played with Russell Westbrook. He's played with Kyrie Irving. He's played with Kevin Durant. He's played with Joel Embiid. And in all these situations, it didn't work out. He never even made it to the finals. So at some point in time, a lot of those players, you look at them, those are MVP caliber players. Those are the best players in the NBA.
I think that he was in the finals like 2003 or something like that with Oklahoma.
Yeah,
long time ago. Yeah, he was bench
man, wasn't he?
He was bench man. Yeah, he was bench man.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I mean, the thing is at some point in time, you have to say James Harden is the common denominator in all these failures. You can't. Like, the thing is, you can't play with multiple MVP level players, not win, and then constantly blame them or blame the team. Like, at some point in time, you're an MVP, they're an MVP. Normally, if you get two MVPs together, you should make it to the finals. I mean, you think about it, add another MVP caliber player with Jokic, and that team's definitely being back. We'd all say that team's definitely going to the finals again.
Definitely, definitely.
So
And what is interesting that it seems like he is, throwing bricks and everything to Daryl Morey and Philadelphia side. Now he is open to any possible trades, whatever. But John Corrales said that. This mess that is happening in Philadelphia is actually good for Boston because, and Keith Smith wrote, number one, there is really no possible way Philadelphia to trade James Harden, get the star in return, and to stay relevant and stay contenders at the Eastern Conference, and B, this thing is distracting Philadelphia inside. Right now, I have heard the rumors from Philadelphia that Daryl Morey apparently is ready to trade both Harden and Embiid and to hit the rebuilding button.
yeah.
So they will be the example how Sam Hinkie's process, famous process, is actually actually is not working, because they didn't get to the finals. The rumor is that Daryl Morey is just waiting Joel Embiid to say, "Hey, I want to win. I cannot win in Philadelphia. Trade me somewhere else." So Joel Embiid will turn soon to James Harden, and it seems like Philadelphia is not going to be top three teams in the Eastern Conference, maybe without James Harden, or maybe it will be top four teams in the Eastern Conference, but in the playoffs they cannot stay the fourth without James Harden. Don't you think?
Let me just say, like with Philly, if Joel Embiid is the best player on the 76ers and the focus of that team, they are not going to make it to a finals. And the reason that I say that is because Joel Embiid, in my eyes, is not a player that you can build a finals contender around. Yes, he's an MVP. Yes, he puts up great stats. I've gone over this before on
Mm-hmm.
the show. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have the basketball IQ to be the centerpiece of a championship team. It's not like Jokic. Jokic he's a big, slow, big man, but he has a very high IQ. And that allows
Mm-hmm.
him to exploit defenses. You can't throw the same type of doubles at him that you can at Embiid. You saw it during the playoffs. Boston shamelessly doubles Embiid. Like, we literally will throw doubles at him like candy off of a parade float, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
dare him to make the pass to an open corner shooter, and he almost never does. And that's the thing. Defensively, he makes like he's a good defender if he can drop defend. It's very hard to win a championship drop defending. I think the Bucks are the only team
Mm-hmm.
I can think of that's done it.
Mm-hmm.
And Giannis is a phenomenal defender. That's probably how they got away with it. Um, but with
Mm-hmm.
Embiid, like if you pull him out the perimeter, I mean, you saw in that series, Boston made concerted efforts to pull Embiid out onto the perimeter, trying to defend Tatum, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And Tatum cooked him almost every single time. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that's not like to me. That's not somebody you can build a contender around. If you're going to build a team around a guy, he's going to be the centerpiece of that team, and you're going to go to the finals and have a chance of winning. That player's got to have a higher basketball IQ than turning the ball over every time he gets doubled,
Mm-hmm. Definitely,
because that's the
definitely.
reality of how the NBA works. I mean, you double almost every top player in the playoffs in the NBA, and Embiid he doesn't seem to be able to figure that out. He insists on getting the ball up high on the perimeter. I don't understand why one of the biggest, strongest centers in the NBA, you're giving him the ball at the 3-point line. Why?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
the last thing I have to say about Embiid, if you look at how he tries to back people down, he has very poor
Mm-hmm.
body mechanics. You'll notice he does not get his center of mass low. And you could say that's because of injuries or whatever. But anybody
Mm-hmm.
who's ever played football or done martial arts, you know that the lower you drop your center of mass, the more leverage you have, the more strength essentially you can leverage against your opponent. And Embiid can't do that. That's why you see the Celtics being okay defending him with a kind of stockier defender like Smart or Grant Williams. You saw the Raptors defend it with OG Anunoby. And that's why, because he doesn't know how to use his size. And once again, that just, to me, that speaks to a lack of training and a lack of IQ. Because, like, literally anybody who's played, like, high school offensive line in football knows about dropping their center of mass. And somehow the guy who's in, his 5th or 6th year in the NBA doesn't.
Yeah, definitely. So we are expecting trades in Philadelphia and rebuilding process, and we are expecting Philadelphia to slide from position number 3. The teams like Bucks and the Celtics are at the top. You have who do you have? Miami there, relevant number 3. Now you have Philadelphia somewhere there. Position number 4, you have Cavaliers. You have I'm forgetting somebody there, but it will be interesting.
I'm not writing off the Bulls yet.
The Bulls. They had bad season, but we will see. Cavaliers are definitely there in the top 5, and from there it is everything is possible. Another thing that is going on, Damian Lillard saga. I mean, it seems like for now he will not be traded, but at some point he will be traded. So we can expect this drama to continue until the trade deadline, it seems. What is your opinion about this kind of saga?
I mean, I think the Blazers essentially have no real incentive to trade him unless they get a great offer. I think Miami's not willing to make that offer. I'm guessing Miami's going to wait through the season. If they feel like they get guys who can replace or replicate what Tyler Hero does, then they'd be more willing to make that type of trade.
Excellent stuff. And returning to the Celtics stuff, by the way, this is my camera. Go Celtics. The Celtics stuff, Kristaps Porzingis is not playing for Latvia because of injury, and we here have the injury update from Jay King, if I'm correct. So this John Karalis, the Celtics say Kristaps Porzingis is beginning 4 to 6 weeks rehab program to treat plantar facilities in his right foot. 4 to 6 weeks rehab. The team saying he is expected to be cleared for the start of the training camp. So, Andy, plantar facilities, it is certainly not pleasant injury, but it is not something that should keep him more than 6 to 7 weeks out of the court, it seems, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's my understanding is plantar fasciitis is essentially like an inflammation of the tendons that run along the foot. I guess they could, I think it's good that they're having him treated now as opposed to when the season starts, because it's one of those things, if it's allowed to continue unchecked, it can lead to alterations in, movement, mechanics, that sort of thing. And that can lead to other injuries like hip and knee injuries, which would obviously take longer. It does just make me concerned, though, because once again, we have a very injury-prone lineup, and this is not really helping to allay those
good situation. And this is why I'm repeating in every single show that this is why I'm putting the Celtics behind the Bucks and behind Denver Nuggets overall, because of the thin bench and the thin rotations, 7 playoff deep team, injury prone lineup, Malcolm Brogdon injury prone, a couple of other guys injury prone. Thrones, but we will see. The good thing is that he's getting rehab right now. He's not playing in the World Cup, and he will be hopefully ready for the start of the year, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the hope. I think Celtics fans need to realistically expect Porzingis to play pretty limited minute. Not pretty limited, but I think we're going to see his minutes pretty tightly controlled by the Celtics.
Maybe from the bench, maybe even from the bench, at the beginning of the year. If we are smart, we are from the bench, or he will be like Robert Williams starting and playing like 15 minutes or 18 minutes per game, starting then coming out in third or fourth minute. What do I have more from my slides show for the show? So Kristaps Porzingis, so he is apologizing and he said, "It is difficult. I feel very responsible to myself and supporters of Latvian national team, but it was decision has been made and I will not play in the World Cup. After several weeks of recovery and repeating MRI examination, the plantar fasciitis at my foot still prevents me from being in the field full court. This joint decision has been made by both my medical staff and coaching staff of the Latvian team, as well as Celtics team, with the advice and the opinion that this is necessary to continue the recovery process. Such a decision is not easy to make, but I promise you that I will be there to support the team as much as I can." This is like fair, if you cannot play, then you cannot play, It is shame. It is shame for him, shame for Latvian team, but it is what it is. Hopefully he will be healthy for the training camp, and like we said at the beginning, you are not going to get him the full speed at the beginning of the year. Another news from the Celtics land, DJ Stewart has agreed on the training camp deal with the Boston Celtics. I didn't follow him on the college, but from what I read, Andy, he was kind of star at the college, or the starter and successful player at the college. So we could maybe see him longer than training camp if he shows his abilities there, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I like some of these guys that come sort of unheralded from college, because it's not necessarily that they were bad players. They might just not have been the right team, had the right teammates, or been in a school that got a lot of media attention. So I'm all for it. I mean, there's nothing really to lose.
James Harden saga that we discussed, but just to confirm, James Harden no longer wants to play for Philadelphia and has no plans of taking part in the training camp. But what is the catch-22 there? If he doesn't appear to the training camp, I think that somebody from the NBA office said that he will not be able to sign another NBA contract, or he will be banned from it. So he must appear, or he will hurt only himself. But whatever it is, popcorns, and we're watching the drama in Philadelphia. So go, James Harden, break it up. Break it up, that nest, snake's nest in Philadelphia. You are our man. So, quotable, Guy de Placido via Celtics blog on Sam Hussier. I could see Hussier taking the 9th spot despite a tough stretch in December and January last shoot where he shot 28% and 31% from the deep. He still is managed to end the year shooting 41.8% beyond the arc. This is reasonable. We discussed about the newly formed bench. The starting five, we know what it is. The bench is now Malcolm Brogdon, then what is his name? Yeah, the guard. I am just Sam Hussier, anyway, Al Horford, Robert Williams the third, and Peyton Pritchard. That is potentially, he is like Peyton Pritchard number 2, Sam Hussier number 3. We could see like Oshie Brissett number 4 and Robert Williams number 5 from the bench. But he's like 8th or 9th guy in the rotations, and he has the chance to crack into the rotations for the playoffs. Right?
Yeah, I mean, 9th spot. I mean, I don't know if most teams even really have a 9th spot set in stone. I mean, because normally, like you have your 6 man off the bench. You usually have 7 and 8 are going to be pretty set role players, right? Like I think Time Lord's going to be somewhere in the 6-7 region for us, right? I probably 7, just because I think Brogdon will be the 6th. But then if you look at the 8th spot, that it's probably going to be, I don't know, it's probably going to be Horford or something like that. And then so when you start looking at 9th, it's essentially probably going to be a situation where they're going to ride the hot hand, like whoever's on a good shooting spree, or if they need like a lockdown defender, they have a good defender on the bench, they'll bring that guy in at the 9th spot. But I think that's not really a hard and set spot. That's something that fluctuates based on what the team needs in the moment.
Yeah, despite this guy de Placido is having high opinion about Sam Hussier, I have good opinion about him. But sadly, I think that his defense and lack of experience will keep him out of playoff rotations, except injuries and that kind of stuff. Because of injuries, he could play in the playoffs, sure. Another one we must mention, and we mentioned him in the previous playoff, the previous shows. Bleacher Report's Andy Bailey on Jordan Walsh, the Celtics pick. Jordan Walsh is 6'7", with 7'3" wingspan. That's an excellent size for an NBA wing. It is if that outside shooting is for real, there is at least the faint possibility he can become a 3-and-D weapon. I'm putting him number 11, but I do not see why Jordan Walsh could not be in the Celtics regular season rotations, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. It's also hard to tell how he might be used because we haven't really seen Joe Mazzulla coach a rookie before. They didn't really have a rookie on the team last year. So it'll be interesting to see if Mazzulla, because we know Brad Stevens didn't play rookies a lot, usually, not always, but usually didn't like to play rookies as much. But I think with Mazzulla, we just don't really know. So it's possible we could see him play quite a bit.
We are rooting for Jordan Walsh. I love this guy. And I certainly think that there is possibility that he could be in the Celtics, not in Maine this year. And he could crack the rotations, possibly top 10, if he is good. There is absolutely no reason why, for example, he could not be in the place of Oshie Brissett or Sam Hussier, even if they are not playing good. So Celtics blog WJC Epsilon on Kristaps Porzingis. This name is like R2D2 from Star Wars, but whatever. If this is the writer for Celtics blog. If he's starting next to Al Horford, Porzingis, they could effectively play 5 outs and bomb the threes even more with. Let me just remove the banner for a second that I can see and the people can see what is written. So if Porzingis is starting next to Al Horford, the Celtics could effectively play 5 out and they can bomb threes even more with a variance of the 3-point shoot that could doom them in the series again. What is your opinion? I mean, I think that this is the starting lineup potentially. I mean, the starting lineup will be still, in my opinion, Robert Williams and Horford from the bench, but as a center. That's why I think we need power forward center still. But I can see this lineup closing the games with Porzingis and Horford if they're healthy, right?
Yeah, I think that's what the Celtics have in mind, is playing Porzingis and Horford together. The interesting question is, we know that Missoula likes to run a 3-point centric offense, which that's not really unique to Boston. That's kind of just where the NBA is going right now. I do think that playing somebody like Porzingis, it gives us a little bit more ability to score in other spots besides for the 3-point area. Porzingis actually has a pretty decent little post game. He has a decent mid-range game as well. The advantage here is that when you run 5 out, it's not just about 3-point shots. I think that's something a lot of people don't really seem to grasp. But like, the 5 out offense isn't just about 3-point shots. It's also about pulling the opposing big man out of the paint. Because if you have both Horford and Porzingis spacing out beyond the arc, then the big men who are defending them have to space out as well. And that's where you open up driving lanes, because there's not a lot of players in the NBA that are going to guard Jason Tatum very well one-on-one. So when you run that 5 out spacing, it actually opens things up a lot more for our, layup and dunk offense as well. I think the interesting question here is, where does this leave Robert Williams? Because as much as Robert Williams is like a fan favorite, and he has like undeniably flashed some amazing potential, but if a 5 out offense is working for us, then where do we justify keeping a guy who doesn't shoot, is often injured, on our roster when he could carry significant trade value? And I guess that's kind of the question that this will start to bring up if it works.
Okay, I will repeat again. We need the fourth big man. We need Grant Williams type of center badly. We need the fourth man at the center line more than the people think. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to repeat it like a broken record. Maybe I will be wrong, but I feel that I'm not wrong. Kristaps Porzingis confirms that he has plantar fasciitis, whatever it is pronounced. We discuss about that. It is said. And finally, we're coming to our central topic. This is the Celtics schedule. So the schedule is out. It seems like Lady Luck this time just was in favor for the Celtics. So give us a wink, Lady Luck, give us a touch, whatever you want to say. This is one thing, February 4th, 2024, Grizzlies in Boston. Marcus Smart's return to Boston, but this time in Grizzlies uniform, February 4, 2024. I really wish that he's healthy, and I really wish that he's getting tribute from the Celtics and standing ovations. And I think it will happen, definitely, right?
Yeah, I would hope so. Marcus Smart was such a big part of this team. and not just of the team, but like as I said before, also a big part of the community. So if he comes back to Boston and is able to play, he deserves all the respect from the fans.
And the tribute video, despite he is not champion, but the tribute video 100%. So what do we have? I think that I have one more slide from Jay King about the big three. But anyway, this is your Christmas day. So first of all, at noon, Milwaukee Bucks and the Knicks. Yeah, New York Knicks. I forgot about them. They are Andy.
They've
now
been pretty good. Yeah.
they're pretty good. I forgot about. I said I am forgetting somebody. So you have like Bucks. You have Bucks Celtics, Philadelphia number 3. They projected New York actually number 4, Miami number 5, Cleveland number 6, or Cleveland number 5, Miami number 6, whatever you want to say. So those are the team at the Eastern Conference. It will be pretty interesting. Couple of other teams. You mentioned Chicago. We will see Milwaukee against New York Christmas Day, 12 o'clock. So Golden State Warriors, Denver, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock. Boston, Los Angeles Lakers, the game that we are looking forward. Lakers, pretty solid team, pretty good team. Boston contenders again. So we will see Philadelphia, Miami, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will see by Christmas time what will left from Philadelphia, Andy. This game, maybe it will be like blowout from Miami side, but we will see. Maybe Lillard will be in Miami, maybe some star will be in Philadelphia instead of James Harden. Everything is possible. In the words of, I don't know who said that, in Philadelphia, everything is possible. And finally, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Dallas and Phoenix. Do you want to comment about NBA Christmas Day? I think it is pretty fun schedule. Like I want to see the first 3 games definitely. Philadelphia, Miami, not so much. I mean, Miami, so and so. Dallas, Dallas, Phoenix will be definitely a good game, but maybe I will watch the replay. But
Dallas, I'm actually looking forward to Dallas Phoenix because there's some rivalry there between Booker and Doncic, and I think Dallas is a team that a lot of people aren't talking about, but I think they made a lot of pretty solid moves in the offseason.
Yeah. They have
I don't
super
like Kyrie
starting
still
5.
being there. I think Kyrie is like the one thing that is not working in their favor because Kyrie seems to hurt every team he's on.
Like James Harden.
Yeah, I mean, like
for
Kyrie
some
and Harden
reason
should just make their own basketball team. And, I don't know, dribble the ball around and blame each other all day because that's basically how they both work. But yeah, 76ers, Miami. Like it could be a good game. It kind of depends on how both of those teams are. Miami does kind of have a habit of starting off slow and working their way up to speed for the finals. So might be a good game. Any game with Jimmy Butler going back to one of his old teams is usually good. So I'll give it that.
Philadelphia, if Philadelphia stays with Embiid, it will be a good game. If Embiid is traded, I don't know how much Philadelphia can play with them, but we will see what is left of Philadelphia by Christmas. Anyway, continuing with the slides, NBA Christmas, here is this. This is the same practically slide, but this time with the players. You see the solid pictures. You see the matchups. You see James and Tatum. You see Curry and Jokic down there. Giannis, and who is there? Randall. And you see Doncic and Booker. definitely. So good matchups, good rivalry. Like you said, Doncic and Booker. So we are all looking forward to the Christmas. NBA Christmas is definitely one of the best possible days to stay home and watch basketball, enjoy the tradition, the good tradition, one of the best traditions in the USA, NBA Christmas games. We have some other subjects to discuss. We will return to the schedule. Opening week. This is schedule actually. I thought it is about Jimmy Butler. By the way, we can comment this, and we can comment Jimmy Butler wanting a contract that is higher than Jaylen Brown's $308 million 5 years. So Heat and the Celtics opening week, 27th October, Friday. We are starting 21st October. I think against Philadelphia. I could be wrong. And that opening week, we are finishing week with playing Heat in Boston. So it will be definitely great game. So how do you see this game? It will be fun. A replay of the playoff series, the time to kind of revenge. One game revenge, actually, it is not, because they defeated us 2 times in the playoffs since 2020. The revenge will be if we defeat the Heat, hopefully in the playoffs. But what do you say about this game in the opening week, and what do you say about Jimmy Butler wanting maximum contract more than Jaylen Brown?
Well, I think Jimmy Butler is perfectly justified in asking for that, given everything he's done for the Heat since he's been there. I think, I mean, like in terms of the schedule, I mean, it's pretty standard. Usually, the NBA will try to come up with conference final and final rematches going into the new season, just to kind of get everybody hyped up for basketball. And it's a good matchup. Both of these teams have brought back or made significant, positive changes, so it should be a good matchup. Butler, yeah, I think Jimmy Butler probably will get what he's asking for. I don't see the Heat turning him down. That would be, I don't think they're going to get somebody. If you let Jimmy Butler go, I don't think you're going to get, the Heat are going to get somebody of similar quality. So.
I really hope that Kristaps Porzingis is healthy by then and playing by then. And I think that you have point with Robert Williams. How he will fit into this team is big question mark. And this is making us losing Grant Williams, hurting us even more, because we need to sign his replacement to be four big man rotations. Because of injury-prone centers that we have. Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Robert Williams, all injury-prone, all missing tons of games because of the injuries previous seasons, especially Porzingis and Robert Williams. So we are in dire need for serviceable backup big men. Those kind of big men, nothing fancy, still exist at the free agency market. So I'm really making appeal to Brad Stevens' consciousness to sign, now that we have open roster spot, backup big men. Okay, we are moving on. So what is this? This is the slide. Just one moment. What is this? This is like, in the season play-in tournament. Season play-in tournament. That's it. This is the poster for the play-in tournament. So in-season tournament explained. In-season tournament explained. This is the poster. Okay. So I think that this is number 1. What is in stake? 2023, something new, in-season tournament. Teams will be competing for the all-new NBA Cup. NBA Cup. Okay. League honors. At the conclusion of the tournament, the NBA will name MVP, player of the in-season tournament, and all NBA all tournament teams, all how it will be called all NBA playing tournament team. Yeah, something like that. All all NBA playing tournament first team, all NBA playing tournament second team, all NBA playing tournament third team. So prize pool. A prize pool will be allocated to the players on the teams that participate in the knockout rounds. Games begin the November 3rd, and semifinals championship games are between December 7th and December 9th in Las Vegas. And something more, the third slide about play-in tournament. If my yeah, so this is group play. Tournament nights will take place every Tuesday and every Friday, starting from November 3rd to November 28th, with the exception on the election day, November 7th. Each team plus the 4 teams in its group once 2 home and 2 away games. So we will play each team in our group. I think we have 4 teams in each group. Will play once 2 at home and 2 away. All tournament games will count towards the regular season standings except the championship game. This will be played for the honors, the prize, and the trophy. 3 group winners and 1 wild card team per conference will qualify for the tournament. So, in other words, this is like copy paste EuroLeague Final Four. So this is kind of, but when I was commenting EuroLeague, I was saying that this is not fair. Final Four, 1 game elimination is not it is not how to say, it is not good format for me, because one team that is good team can play good the whole year, can have injured players in that one game, and other team can appear that is underdog and shooting threes in one game and just eliminate the favorites. So in my opinion, at least 2 games should be played in elimination phase. But I think that elimination phase is 1 game. Let me just check. So 3 group, we must win our group to qualify for the final tournaments. So we have 2 semifinals on the 7th and championship game on the December 9th. Yeah. So starting November 3rd and November 28th, the group stage. And this is the pool prize. So what is your general opinion about playing tournaments?
It's an interesting concept. I think it'll remain to be seen how it works out for the NBA. I know they've been very careful to try to make it so that teams are incentivized to actually try during these games. That's why they made it so these games count towards the regular season record. We'll see if that actually works or not. I'm not sold that it will.
Yeah, I have the feeling that it will be like no interest from the players.
Well, I think that the interesting part, so they do incentivize the players. I think the players could get like $500,000 each for winning, which that may incentivize them. I think actually the interesting thing is you might see a lot of teams push to win this in-season tournament that maybe are on the fringe of competition for the finals. So you might have teams like, say, the Knicks or the Bulls or the Mavericks that, are kind of on the fringe of finals competition.
Orlando,
but could really, have a very realistic chance of winning something like this. Yeah, I think it might actually be interesting. It might be good for the NBA because you'll see some of those fringe competitors be able to really have kind of a spotlight put on them.
Charlotte,
I think that's kind of the best
New Orleans, Charlotte, New Orleans Pelicans, Orlando Magic, those kind of teams. Chicago Bulls.
Well, yeah,
New York Knicks.
I'm saying like the teams that are like the fringe edge of competing. So like the Mavericks, Cavaliers would be a good example of that.
Cavaliers,
like
Mavericks.
The teams that probably they're considered contenders for the finals, but they're not really. Like they're considered a tier below the contenders, and they might make a real push for this, and that could make it interesting. But I think it's going to take years for it to really take hold.
Anyway, credit to Adam Silver for creating this kind of interesting concept, because it could be at the end something that is interesting and something that is drawing attention from the fans and the players, right? It could end up being something really good, like this play-out tournament at the end of the year. This is a full hit. Upcoming schedule. So Wednesday, October 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern, New York Knicks, Boston Celtics. October 27th, against the Heat. Boston Celtics Heat in Boston, Friday, October 27th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We commented that. So this week, starting week, will be interesting. If I'm correct, 21st Philadelphia. Then Wednesday we have Knicks. Then Friday we have Heat. And then Monday, easier game on the paper, October 30th, the Wizards, 7 p.m. Eastern. Then starting November, we have against Pacers in Boston, where we are clear favorites, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And Saturday, November 7th, Nets in Brooklyn. I wanted to say New Jersey. Nets in Brooklyn. So Saturday, November 4th, Brooklyn Nets, Boston Celtics in Brooklyn, 8 p.m. Eastern. So Andy, the first week is not easy for us.
No, we should start 5-0.
We should start 5-0. Okay.
I mean, like, if we're thinking that we're contending and we could play with against the Denver Nuggets and win, then we better start this season 5-0, because the only team on that schedule that could challenge us is the Heat. And theoretically, we added Kristaps Porzingis, who makes us better, so we should be able to beat the Heat, especially since we're playing at home.
Yeah, definitely. If they defeating us in Boston, it will be slap in the face. Definitely slap in the face.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why we should be one of the favorites to win the NBA, if not the favorite. Jay King, our friend from The Athletic, if you put a smaller, about the big three, if you put the smaller defender into Brown, he will bully his way to the hoop. Put one defender into Porzingis, he will just shoot over the top of that defender. Put one defender to Tatum, and the defender will be in serious trouble. He will dribble, penetrate from the basket to the basket. From a size standpoint alone, the teams could have tough times defending against the big three, against Boston big three. In theory, this concept is true, Andy, right?
Well, I think more notable is the fact that you have to match up perfectly with them, because what this does is it actually creates more chances for mismatches, because it's not just about putting a smaller defender on Brown or Tatum. You can't put a bigger defender on them really either, because they're both quick enough to get around a bigger defender. So when you play dual bigs with Porzingis and Horford, you're forcing the other team to play two big men, essentially. And that opens up a lot of opportunities for Boston to force switches and switch a big man onto Tatum or Brown, which is pretty much the ideal scenario. I would argue even more so than a smaller guard, because a smaller guard, might be too small to contest you, but they can still stay in front of you. A big man, a lot of bigs are too slow. They won't stay in front of Tatum or Brown, and so that actually, in my opinion, would make the shot easier.
I think that they will double team Tatum definitely, and about Brown, I think that they will zone up when the big man will zone up against Brown against dribble penetration, because they are quick enough to pass by them, right?
Yeah.
So this is on the paper the good concept for the Celtics, right? That's the point. We have the 3 mismatches and creating mismatches. That's all about the playoffs, to create the mismatches, like you said, enough mismatches to win the series. So 2 more stories about the schedule, and that's what I prepared. So this is play in season tournament. Okay. So this is returning to the in-season tournament. This is East Group C, where the Celtics are playing. Yeah, I have tough times reading the dates, but you see that we are playing 7:30 p.m. Eastern, like in November. Never mind the dates. We're playing against Brooklyn in Boston. Then November. Then November. This is like 10th November against Brooklyn, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I think. Yeah, 7:30 p.m. Eastern against Brooklyn in Boston. Then November 17th at Toronto, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Then November 24th at Orlando, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Then finally November 29th or something like that against Chicago in Boston, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And you could see the schedule of the remaining rivals. For example, Brooklyn is playing first against Chicago in Chicago. Then Brooklyn is playing in Boston. This is like November 10th. So November 14th, Brooklyn is playing against Orlando, 7:30 p.m. Eastern in Brooklyn. Then they're playing against Toronto, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, November 25th, I guess, or something like that. Never mind. Toronto is playing first against Boston, and this is in Toronto. Then they're playing in Orlando. Then they're going to play against Chicago in Toronto, and finally then finishing the group schedule against Brooklyn. Nets in Brooklyn. Chicago is playing first against Brooklyn, and they're playing home. Then they're playing against Orlando home, and then 2 away games, first in Toronto and then against Boston. And finally, Orlando. Orlando is playing first at Brooklyn. Then they're playing at Chicago. Then they're playing in Orlando against Toronto, and in Orlando against Boston, finishing the group stage. Very interesting, like Andy said. And who is having the best schedule there, in your opinion, if there is the best schedule at all?
Everybody's essentially got the same schedule. It's all the same group.
Yeah. But this is interesting. This is interesting. Like Andy said, we should win the group. I don't want the excuses. We are the favorites at the Group C East, and I want the trophy, and I want the first place at the Group C, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it depends on where the team's at come November. If we have people that are dealing with injuries or managing injuries, I don't think it's worth. I don't think it's worth changing our regular season strategy. But it just kind of depends on what the situation is when we get there in November.
Okay, so we are starting the tournament against Brooklyn, to repeat, against Brooklyn in Boston. Then we are going in Canada, Toronto. We are going in Orlando then, and we're finishing against Chicago home. We are the favorites in the Group C, and we are the favorites, one of the favorites to win the tournament. And finally, we are out of television set, but we didn't. I have two articles about the schedule, and we will finish the show. This is how the schedule is looking like. You have this picture at boston.com. So it seems in general, Andy, that this is why the Celtics have one of the best schedules in the 2023-24. The Celtics got a lucky break with the way their schedule for upcoming season is set up. They will have plenty of games after a day off. Creating a perfectly balanced NBA schedule is pretty impossible. So the teams are going to get more rest. Some teams are going to get more rest than the others. And in upcoming 2023-24, the Boston Celtics got lucky break. They will have 82 contests, and over the course of 82 contests, the Celtics have 16 games in which they will play after the day off, while their opponents will have played the day before, per positive residual. So in 16 games, Sandy, out of 82, we will have one day off, while our opponents will have played the day before. The Celtics have more of these games than any other team in the league, meaning they will be better rested than opponents who they face uh, more often than not. Ironically, though, Boston Celtics seems to play better with no rest at all. During the 2022-23 campaign, the Celtics went 10-3 at the second games back-to-back, 10-3. Conversely, in the games after the break, the Celtics had mediocre record 500, 6-6. So we are playing better when we are not rested, when we're second days back-to-back games. In the new season, the Celtics will have also 11 games in which they will be at rest disadvantage, 11 games, where back-to-back. Plus, before the take on the rivals Los Angeles Lakers on the Christmas Day, the Celtics will play the 3 road games. So in Christmas game, we will be tired because we will play the 3 road games against the 3 2022 playoff teams on the West Coast trip in 5 days. So we will play the 3 road games before the Christmas game against the Lakers, against the playoff teams. I'm going to see. Again, we will play Golden State, okay, Orlando and Boston. Then that week prior to the Christmas, December, we're playing Golden State Warriors away, Sacramento away, and Los Angeles Clippers away. The 3 playoff teams from the West, and then Los Angeles Lakers away. The 4 games road trip. So against the Lakers, Christmas Day, we will be finishing the 4 games road trip. Your comments to this fact that we will have 16 games with the day rest and 11 games without the rest. And you see that we had better records, better records when we are playing second day back-to-back, 10-3. When we are playing with the rest, we have mediocre 6-6 last year. Your comments, Andy?
Well, I don't know if that really means anything. So you have to look at what teams we were playing in those games. I mean, if we were playing mediocre teams on the second half of back-to-backs, then that would kind of make sense. Or if we had the second half of back-to-backs at home, there's a lot of factors that go into that beyond just the pure win and loss. In terms of the schedule, I'm pretty sure that's by design from the NBA. The NBA wants Boston to be deep in the playoffs. That's pretty much a known fact. They want all of the big teams to be deep in the playoffs. Probably especially after last year, because Denver doesn't have a huge fan base. So what's the number one reason the Celtics most likely wouldn't make the playoffs? It's probably injuries. How do you mitigate injuries? By giving the team more rest. It's not the first time the NBA's engineered schedules to help teams out a little bit. So, I think this time it just kind of blew in our favor.
And the second thing, the schedule is out, and Boston will be mainstay on the national television circuit, where we have currently 35 national televised games featuring the Celtics. Local broadcasts will be a little more special next season. This will likely be the final ride for Mike Gorman, legendary broadcaster. Whether at TD Garden watching from far, is already shaping up to be the exciting regular season for the Celtics fans. Last year, the Celtics won 57 games, earning the number 2 seed conference. But let's take a look at some of intriguing games. Like we said, October 27th, Miami Heat in Boston, ESPN. Jimmy Butler becoming one of the most formidable villains in Boston Celtics memory. He and the Heat vanquished the Sixers in Game 7 on the Celtics home court, denying Boston trip to the NBA Finals second time in 4 seasons. It was heartbreaking outcome, and the poor shooting and unfocused defense doomed Boston, but Butler and the Heat deserved credit for gutsy win. No doubt that both sides will be eager to grab a win in the first rematch of the new season. Boston in Philadelphia, November 8, 7 p.m. Eastern. The last time Sixers visited the Celtics was Mother's Day, and featured on win or go home number 7 in the second round of the playoffs. With Boston's new season on the line, Jason Tatum exploded for 51 points, sending the Sixers home and helped the Celtics advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. So it was a stellar performance from Tatum in Game 7, and another chapter of the story, a rivalry between Boston and Philadelphia. At the time of writing, we can't be totally sure what to expect of the Sixers roster, but it is clear that one of the biggest Celtics adversaries will set the tune for the rest of the season and should be exciting early challenge on the road. Again, Boston Celtics at Philadelphia, November 8, 7 p.m. Eastern, NBC Sports Boston. Number 3, Los Angeles Lakers in Boston, February 1st, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. This will be a rematch from Christmas game. Los Angeles Lakers, Boston Celtics on 25th December. Now, this will be a rematch of the Christmas Day. Lakers at Boston, February 1st, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It doesn't get much better than a game between two of the league's most bitter rivals. Boston will head to Los Angeles for Christmas lift. This time will be classic. A controversial no call resulted emotional LeBron James, an animated Patrick Beverly to gave overtime victory for Boston, so they will have the revenge. Number 4, Memphis Grizzlies at Boston Celtics, February 4, 6 p.m. Eastern, the return of Marcus Smart. Memphis Grizzlies at Boston Celtics, February 4th. Marcus Smart spent the first 9 seasons of the career in Celtics, with the Celtics. Thanks to the trade, Smart will be in the Grizzlies uniform. It was an emotional departure, and seeing Smart suiting up for the opponent will be emotional for the Celtics fans, but his return to Boston is the chance to celebrate and expect a lot of tears and cheers from the Celtics crowd the evening. And finally, the games to watch: Dallas Mavericks at Boston Celtics, March 1st, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So there are 2 reasons why the visit from Dallas Dallas Mavericks in Boston, March 1st, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. The two reasons why the visit from Dallas will be exciting. The first time Grant Williams returns to Boston as member of Mavericks. Also, Kyrie Irving is there, and Williams signed with Dallas this summer after 4 seasons, fan favorites wearing green. While Williams will enjoy a largely positive homecoming, the same can be said for ex-Celtics Kyrie Irving, who will be booed shooting for Dallas because of that famous leprechaun stomp. In Boston, Irving's time in Boston was so-and-so, turmoil, shaking time, and there appears to be mutual animosity between Irving and some Celtics fans. There will be a lot of juice building. Also, Grant Williams was taunting Jason Tatum. So what do you say about those games? We commented Christmas game. I think that we commented Philadelphia. If Embiid is there, will be fun. If not, it will be not fun. And what should we make about the rest of the games that I mentioned? Lakers coming to Boston February 1st, March 1st, the return of Grant Williams and Kyrie Irving in Boston, March 1st, and February 4th, the return of Marcus Smart in Boston. A lot of emotional games that I pick up for this show, right?
Yeah, no, I think those are all good games. I mean, Lakers Celtics is always a good game, and then I think the Mavericks usually play Boston pretty closely. So, yeah, I'm not as interested in Philly, to be honest. I don't really. I just don't see Philly and Boston as being a rivalry. Try to paraphrase Draymond Green, when one team wins all the time, it's not really a rivalry, is it?
No, it is not.
And that's just where we're at right now. I think I don't really see Jimmy Butler as a villain either, to be honest. Like, yes, the Heat have definitely beat the Celtics in the playoffs, but I don't feel like it's because of Jimmy Butler. I don't feel like Jimmy Butler was like driving daggers into us. I feel like we played poorly and lost. I mean, like Jimmy Butler's a great player. The Heat are a very good team, but I guess I don't feel the animosity towards the Heat, because I feel like it's almost like it wasn't that the Heat are the enemy of the Boston Celtics. It's that the Boston Celtics are the worst enemy of the Boston Celtics. So and that's not taking anything away from Miami. I think Miami's a phenomenal team. Spoelstra is a great coach. Jimmy Butler is a phenomenal player. But I feel like we lost those games for ourselves because we just couldn't put it together. And to their credit, they could. But that's not animosity, I guess, in the way that you would have with like a team that, played out of their mind and just rises to the occasion and beats you every time. I feel like it's more we just kind of sink below our average when we play Miami. And I feel like that's more on us than on them.
Jimmy Butler is perfect cornerstone for the franchise, and he could get the 5 years, 310 or so millions more than Jaylen Brown soon. So we will see about it. And the last thing that we will mention in the show, Peyton Pritchard. I have reports that Peyton Pritchard is working hard. He's adding something in his game. And do you see him cracking the regular rotational minutes? Because Breacher report is saying that he will get the regular rotational minutes with him and Malcolm Brogdon stayed the only, besides Jordan Walsh and J.D. Davison, the third stringers. The second stringers from the bench in the guards positions are Peyton Pritchard and Malcolm Brogdon. So he will crack the rotations and he will have the breakout year finally. Agree or disagree?
I don't really agree. I don't know. it kind of depends on how things shake up. If Brogdon gets injured or misses time at the start of the season, Pritchard will almost certainly play. However, it's also possible the Celtics go with, Derek White, and then when White isn't playing, they may just choose to run with Tatum and Brown. Tatum, something like Tatum, Brown, Hosier, or Tatum, Brown, Hauser, or Brissett, and then their two bigs. They could do that as well. I mean, the thing is, they've relied on Tatum to do a lot of initiating so far. So they could also have Horford initiate. So it's, neither of our guards are really passers. So it's possible they could go with a wing and big lineup only. I think it kind of remains to be seen. I think it is very much on Pritchard. If he wants that type of guaranteed time, he has to show that he deserves it. Yeah, I think that.
Okay.
I think this season, more than anything else, I don't think it's that he's guaranteed time. I think that he's guaranteed an opportunity to show that he deserves the time.
Yeah. So, in words of Breacher reports, I think Andy Bailey, never mind. This is the season where he should crack the rotations finally and play in the playoffs, or he should be traded. That's his opinion about Pritchard, right?
Well, yeah, I think we should trade him if people are interested. It depends on what's offered for him. But I mean, I have I don't know. I think Pritchard, it's hard for me to see him cracking the playoff rotation with Boston. And I hope I'm proven wrong in this. But the trend with Missoula has been for bigger, versatile guards.
I think that Hosier has more chance to be number 8 guy in the playoffs than Peyton Pritchard. And I feel that we will sign another guard that is playoff experience and another center. So he will not crack the rotations.
I actually think Brissett has the best chance of cracking the rotation.
Cracking the rotation. He's reminding me on Semi Ojeleye. One of fan favorites.
The thing with Brissett, once again, is that he played with Brogdon in Indiana and they played well together. And if we assume Brogdon's going to be our sixth man, then it would be kind of
Brissett is power forward.
Brissett's going to get some pretty significant time, or not significant time, but that Brissett will get guaranteed time playing off the bench.
Yeah, definitely. I think that he is power forward from the bench. If Horford is our center of the bench or Williams, he's power forward. We don't have power forward, so Brissett is power forward there, definitely. I agree with you. Okay. So we will have like 4-man bench guaranteed of Horford, Brissett at the center lines, plus Malcolm Brogdon, Peyton Pritchard, and Sam Hosier. That's our bench. Then you have number 11, Jordan Walsh, Daniel Banton, number 12, J.D. Davison, somebody I forget, but never mind. Okay, the show is over, Andy. The show is definitely over. We explored all the subjects. I think that it was a good show. Thank you. It is always easier with you. I did the show alone last week. Hopefully we will talk the next week because, as you can see, the World Cup is outgoing and there is always topics to talk about. This week we had schedule coming out. The next week we could see some big trades. Anyway, stay with us. Stay with the End the Zone Sports Talk Radio. Andy, thank you. The final words.
Thank you. Go Celtics.
Thank you. Go Celtics. And see you the next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, with Igor and Andy on the Shamrock Sports Talk Show.
Welcome to the Shamrock Sports Talk Show with your hosts, Igor Mitic from Serbia, Europe, and Andy Vernon from Concord, New Hampshire. We are about pride, tradition, sweat, tears, victory, and determination of Boston sports. Give us a ring at 512-543-4662. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now, let's get into the Shamrock Sports Talk Show. Hello, and thank you for tuning into the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC, where you can find the best in sports talk television and radio shows. Mondays, check out the Just Us Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your hosts, Kevin L. Dixon and Dana Clark. Then Tuesday, we have the Stars Talking Cowboys Sports Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern with your hosts, Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki. And on Wednesday, tune in for the Out the Block Sports Talk Show from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with hosts Robert Lewis, Donna Hainsworth, and Brent Shields. Then meet up with us on Saturday for the Enhanced Sports Talk Show from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern with hosts Lou Tenor and Steve Davidson.
40 years on.
We also have the DMV Sports Talk Show from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern with your host Razul McGee. As well, we have the Shamrock Sports Talk Show from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern with Igor Mitic and Andy Vernon. Finally, rounding out the week, we have on Sunday, That's Not How We See It Sports Talk Show from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern with your host, Alfred Wallace, Tony Wallace, and Harold Robinson III. These shows come to you by way of the In the Zone Sports Talk Show Network, LLC. Be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support.